everybody, and welcome back to another episode of VolTalk. My name is Courtney Cox. I hope you had a great and fun and safe spring break. It is now T-minus 5 weeks until finals, so stay hydrated, drink your water, take your vitamins, don't drink all that coffee because you are going to do great things. All right, so for our special guest for VolLife, I'm so excited. We have Dr. Shea, our current Dean of Students. I'm so excited for her. She has been working in higher education for over 10 years at a number of colleges across the Southeast. She is also our current Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Life, and she oversees 8 departments within the Division of Student Life. Welcome, Dr. Shea. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so for those who don't know, what exactly does the Dean of Students do, and how does your job directly impact students?
Well, again, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to visit with you today. That's a popular question. It's a very broad title, and it includes a whole lot of different things. So I think a big part is, as you think about administration, I'm the senior most administrator who's the closest to students. So I get to be kind of in the middle to think about what the student experience is, what their unique stories are, what their challenges might be, and how I can help them connect the dots. So if a student calls our office and they're concerned about something that maybe doesn't even fall under my area, I can help them figure that out through campus. When you think about more of a concrete standpoint, I work with 8 different departments within Student Life, and Student Life has 21 departments, so I have 8 of those. Departments like Center for Leadership and Service, the Office of Sorority and Fraternity Life, Student Government Association, the Center for Student Engagement, and our new student union, which I get to work in every day. Also, Multicultural Student Life, the Pride Center, Student Media. So it's a lot going on. It's the heartbeat of student life, and I absolutely love being able to come to work every day. I think a big part of my work is working with staff, so the staff that are in each of those departments, coaching them coaching me, motivating them. The work that we do is hard. The days are long, so being able to create an environment where people feel appreciated, where they want to come to work every day, and then certainly our students, you know, it's the Dean of Students role. So I get to interact and engage with our students, and I think the second part of your question, just it impacts students because, you know, if it relates to students getting connected and student organization were involved, but also a student who might be having challenges. So 974 Help falls under our area, so working with students in distress who might be not able to be their best selves in their classroom or externally because something internally is going on. So really getting to the root of what's going on there. We have a team of case managers and really compassionate staff who help our students through that. And then I help anytime there's a major crisis. So if it's a student crisis, maybe on an individual level, but it could be a campus crisis, I'm kind of a go-to person who does that. So the days are never the same. You never know what you're gonna encounter when you get to work, so I just think about it every day when I get up is what is today gonna, what am I gonna face today? And then I go with it. I have a lot of energy and I have to have a lot of stamina, and but I'm really grateful to be in the position.
Wow, so what brought you to UT, and how has your experience been so far?
Well, as you mentioned, I've worked in student affairs for a little more than 10 years. I've had the opportunity to work all over the Southeast and a lot of different areas. So orientation, multicultural student life, fundraising, development, retention work as it relates to student success. So over the course of my career, I've kind of been able to develop these various skills and experiences, and there came a point in my career where I was a director of a department and I was thinking about next steps, and when we look at kind of the higher ed administrative roles, the next step after director is maybe a associate dean or a dean of students, assistant vice president or vice chancellor. And so I just kind of got the bug that something next was out there for me, and began to research maybe what that might look like more from a position standpoint. I don't know a soul in Knoxville. So University of Tennessee was more of an added bonus that it was also the flagship institution of the state of Tennessee, while also being a position that was really attractive, that could take all of the experiences I had gained and really put it into one. So when I read the description, I was immediately interested, and And you know the end of the story, it worked out. So that's what brought me here. And the last thing I'll say about that is I was really intrigued by the volunteer spirit. So we're the only volunteers in the country, and it really is a part of who we are as a campus. And I picked up on that very quickly, that it is more than just a campus. It really has a spirit of leadership and service, and that very much aligned with who I am.
Wow, okay. So for the Office of the Dean of Students, I saw that the key areas of focus are mattering and belonging, leadership and service, and compassionate care. Why are these areas so important in molding the college experience and making it the best it can be for students?
Yeah, so you know, as I was thinking about our 8 areas specifically, and our area of influence really around the student experience, what were those themes that kind of ran throughout all of the areas? And again, as the volunteers, as I just mentioned, leadership and service is a huge part. So as I was thinking about whether a student is engaged in the Daily Beacon, or they're a Pride Center ambassador, or they're the president of the Student Government Association, they are learning valuable skills about leadership and service. And so that's really where that came from, is how can we create these experiences, even an experience that you have as a student who's aspiring to be a journalist. How can we create those experiences and help students reflect on what they're really learning? So leadership and service was a quick, you know, an easy one that made sense. The next one, mattering and belonging, I really believe that challenges that relate to diversity and inclusion really boil down to a student feeling like their stories are important, that they matter, and that they need a community to connect to. And so those words, mattering, being important, belonging, having community, really, to me, espouse who we want to be. It's aspirational in some ways, because we want our students, every student, to come to the University of Tennessee and feel like they belong, that Rocky Top truly is home sweet home to them. And so that's why that was important. And then compassionate care, I believe that certainly through 974 Help, we engage with parents, families, faculty, students who are either concerned about themselves or another student. And so when we pick up that phone, we need to exhibit care and concern. But at the same time, it's not always a 974 Help call. So it could be a parking ticket, or that a parent is really concerned about a student they haven't heard from, or that, you know, a student has gotten the runaround and we pick up the phone, and so we want to exhibit care regardless. If it's a crisis to the student, it's a crisis to us, and so we really want to do that. And so those 3 themes really crystallized who we are and what we want to exhibit as an office, and more broadly through those 8 departments. So that's kind of how we landed on those.
Okay, so to tie in, you mentioned like the compassionate care and the resources. Are there any additional resources that the Office of the Dean of Students offer to students who are having a tough time adjusting, especially for our first-year students?
Absolutely. So, you know, we know that the first year is important, and it's a huge transition, whether it's a freshman or a transfer student. It's the first time that they have been a student here at the University of Tennessee. And so we have a presence at orientation. We meet students from the very beginning. I get to talk with parents and families as well as students. But then secondarily, we offer Dean of Students consulting. So if a student is interested in talking with us, we make that very easy for them to contact us and talk with them about whatever it is. So if it is a roommate concern, if it's homesickness, if it's mental health. We're not counselors, but we're often a good starting point for students who aren't sure. Like, I have a question about a faculty member or a class, and I don't know where to go. We encourage students to really start with us. So that's the Dean of Students Consulting is an opportunity for students. Also, the absence notification process. So for students who have prolonged illness, or maybe they're out for the flu this time of year, you know, that's a popular one. If a student has to be out, they can go through our office to receive an absence notification, and we provide that to the faculty just to legitimize an absence. So I think that's really important. And then also 974 Help. So if it's more of what we call an acute concern, we encourage students to reach out through 974 Help so that we can help and assist with whatever's going on. In addition to that, we have 12 initiatives. So a lot of people don't know about those. for the interest of time, I'm not going to go through all of those for you, but one of those is, especially for first-year students, we have something called our lunch hours program, where a student can contact our office. They can get 2 free lunch passes and invite a faculty member to lunch. And so it really, so it makes it really, it helps with that relationship building to just go up to a faculty member, introduce yourself, and say, hey, I'd love to take you to lunch, and then we'll pay for it. So that's a really popular initiative that we offer to our students. And then I would encourage people who are interested in those others that we have to check out our website.
Okay. So for incoming vols, what's a piece of advice you would like to give them before they arrive here in August?
Yeah. So it's a time of transition, and so I would encourage incoming vols to first and foremost just reflect on what they've encountered, what they've experienced, what hurdles they've overcome. I think a lot of times we approach college as like, UT is going to give me all of this knowledge and information, which we hope we do, but I want our students to recognize they're bringing an awful lot to the table, or we wouldn't have admitted them as students. So really reflecting on what their strengths are, what their unique stories are, what are their contributions. I think in the pomp and circumstance of graduation, we forget about those things, so I'm really reflecting on that. Secondly, I would say express gratitude. So there are parents, counselors, teachers, custodians, neighbors who have contributed to their college experience. So taking a moment verbally, written down, to just say thank you. We all have a village. So I have a PhD, but there's not one single piece of my education that didn't accompany lots of support. So encouraging people to express gratitude. And then thirdly, I would say be open to new experiences. So people, we all benefit when we widen our circle, when we get to know people who are different from us, and UT has a great opportunity, provides a great opportunity for students to do that. So I would encourage them to be ready and open for new experiences.
Okay, and for our final question, if a student wants to meet up with you and just talk, like where can they go to get in touch with you, and where is your office located?
Yes, so my office is in the brand new Student Union, so I'm on the 3rd floor of the Student Union, so it's very accessible to students, and that was purposefully so that I would be easily accessible. Email is the best way to get in touch with me, so my email address is shouze, Houze, @utk.edu, or the Dean of Students email, so dos@utk.edu is a really great way, and just ask for a meeting. So essentially, Dr. Shea, Dean Shea, I would love to get to know you, and then I'll make that happen. I'm also very active on social media, so those are other ways just to find me by name, and I would be glad to connect that way. But we want to make that easy. We want to remove all the barriers, so a direct email is the best way.
Okay, wow, thank you so much, Dr. Shea. Thank you so much for coming.
For having me.
And we appreciate you so much, and we are so glad to have you on Rocky Top. I know as a Black woman, when I saw you, I said, oh my God, this is going to be a great year for me.
Thank you.
So great seeing you. And just thank you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's going to do it for this episode of VolLife. Up next, we're going to have Mara and Carson with Vol Experiences. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night. See you next week.